13 mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm with Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Tony Peter, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, this is Dylan Smith. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Amber Colvin, and I'd like to thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Welcome to Let's Talk Racing. Hey
Good.
Jack, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm not Dylan tonight.
That's what I said, Jack.
I know. I said I'm not Dylan tonight.
Yeah, Crystal's not here. Messed it all up. Anywho, let's see. We got Eldora kicking off tonight with the Nationwide Truck Series.
Done qualifying. They did their qualifying at 5 o'clock, and Kenny Schrader got the pole for whatever good that is, because he has to run. Everybody has to run the heat races, so he can get the pole, but it doesn't mean he's going to run from the pole in the race. But
That just sets up who gets to start where in the qualifying races, correct?
that's all it does. He gets a neat, like the girl said on radio, he gets a neat little hat and a flag and says he was the pole winner, and that's all he gets out of it. But
Well, they still get a pole award money out of it.
yeah, they still get the pole award stuff. But if you didn't draw the first 10 to 15 cars today,
You were SOL.
you were bad. When somebody like Bloomquist ends up in like 25th, I think is where he was, and he hit the wall. So the dirt ringers, as they're calling them, didn't have such a good day today either, because most of them were fast and went towards the end of the qualifying session.
Yeah.
So, but I hear it's been kind of interesting up there. I watched it last night. It was kind of weird to see them going as slow as they were, but it was pretty good.
Just a note off here. Remember we were talking about Phoenix Racing?
Mm-hmm.
That's still pending. Supposedly, didn't you say Brandt was supposed to be part of that?
Brandt come out today and said they're not.
Yeah,
part
I was
of
going to say they denied that they have nothing to do with it. They're going to close the shop in 2 weeks after the July 28th race at Indy.
That's it. I mean, they've already been told that if it doesn't come to fruition like they say it is, and they say the money's been transferred, but
How can it be transferred and not be sold?
the money's been transferred, from what I understand, and everything is done like it's supposed to, and now all of a sudden there's a hole somewhere.
Somebody's pocket?
I don't know. But anyway, James Finch has made it clear that regardless, he's done.
Yeah.
And they got AJ in the car for the Indy race, and that'll be it for as far as that goes.
I mean, but that would be a good team. I would be curious what they're trying to sell the team for. Have you heard any dollar figures
I have
on that?
not heard any dollar figures on it. That's been really under the cover there. What they're trying to do with that. And see, now Finch made the statement the other day was he may run one or two special races out of that shop later on.
Yeah.
You know, he's not. I don't know what he's intending to do, but
Well, he's trying to.
But
Get somebody out there.
they're still saying that Harry Scott is the guy who's trying to purchase the team, and I've talked to somebody who's very, very close to the Turner Scott Motorsports, and that's the word they've got. So, but now your sponsor comes out and says, "Well, we're not into it. We're worried about the nationwide championship. We're not worried about that this year." So I don't know.
I'll have to tell you something later that all of a sudden popped up today. So, but anyway, all right. Let's see. Schrader second pole in Camping World. He's been in 100 of them.
100 race? I didn't know you
Yes.
did that, man.
100 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race it. First top 10 start. Jared Landers was second. Timothy Peters. All right.
And he was in the first. He was in the first 5 or 6 cars that went. So when you go the first 5 or 6, you were one of the last slowest ones in the other practice. But Kenny Schrader said that he wasn't worried about speed in the practices he was running.
Yeah.
He just wanted to get a feel for everything, and he said speed is not going to be the thing. So
Treachery and trickery.
So
the thing of older men.
and one of the people that I know that's down there,
Yeah.
in Eldora this week, I talked to him today, and the word was, whoever can survive is going to win.
That is the basic thing for that type of race, is it survival.
So
You gotta make it to the finish to finish simply.
So that's the thing.
So who's your pick? Gonna put you out there on the lane.
Kyle Larson.
You like Kyle too? Damn, I should have gone first. I give Kenny Schrader his dues. He's going to be one of the favorites. Ryan Newman. I think you might want to watch Ryan. He might be the one to pull it out. I wish Tony was going to race, but he didn't.
Well, he probably didn't want to run his own. Run his own track there.
So he's qualified. He's got the license. He can race it. He's got the money, and he knows the track.
Yeah, that's true. And he would be a killer for it.
He would be the odds-on favorite at that point. You had Larson fastest in the first. Austin Dillon was fastest in the second, and then Darrell Wallace Jr. was fastest in the third practice.
But the funniest thing was yesterday, and it's not funny for him, but it was kind of funny for me. I have watched John West Townley race for the last few years.
Yeah,
he spun out.
I know
7 times yesterday, and what can I say? He's.
Do you know how many drivers they had go for it?
35, because one pulled out.
Yeah.
They had 36 there when one truck pulled out.
Now, Joe Cobb is not Jennifer Joe Cobb, is it? Okay.
No, that's her daddy.
That's her daddy?
Her daddy is a dirt racer from somewhere up in the same area. And she put him in the truck to try to get the truck in the field. There's Carl's number. So we can call him.
Oh.
So don't let me forget it.
That comes in 6 minutes. Oh, he's not calling
in?
Okay.
Because he's in a vehicle on his way to...
Again, that's every time I've talked to Carl, he's been... And we had him one night on here. God, I think we had him on here for 2 hours.
He's on his way to...
Same number?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting joke. He's an older fellow. I saw him on there today, and yesterday. I don't think he did so well in practice yesterday. I think he was one of the slower ones every practice.
Let's see. Who else? Brian Silas. I don't know how he was going to do. I do. No, I'm not even going to say it here. That'd be bad of me. That was the qualifying order.
The
They don't have anything else new. Let's see. Oh, here they go. All right. Kenny Wallace. Oh, we all forgot about Kenny. Well, you printed it up, did you?
yeah, this is from the last practice.
Oh, this is the time trials.
Oh, I didn't get that. That was on while I was on the way down here.
Yeah. Jed Burton was 5th. Hefner was 6th. Miguel Paludo 7th. Jason Bowles 8th. Gresham
And
9th.
crashed the truck.
Oh, he did? While qualifying?
Yep, he crashed the truck, tore the whole back end of it off. So he's going to probably have to go to a backup truck if they have one.
Or just leave the back end off. We'll be there again. Let's see. Johnny Sauter at 10th. Joey Coulter 11th. Good. Matt Crafton 12th. Clay Greenfield. Austin Dillon. Ryan Newman is the 15th. Jimmy Waller the 3rd. Darrell Wallace Jr. Brendan Gaughan. James Busher. Justin Jennings. Jeff Babcock. Tracy Hines. Kyle Larson in 23rd. John West Townley 24th. Now John West Townley's back in Red Horse Racing again in one of their trucks.
Right. He drives the 7 truck for them or something like that. I think.
Once in a while. Because anyway, Brian Silas 25th, Dave Blaney, Norm Benning, Brennan Newberry 28th, Ron Hornaday 29th. Now those 2 trucks come out of the same stable. They must be pretty much matched up. Ty Dillon, yeah, when they are within 1/1000th of a second from each other. Talk about 2 matched trucks. What was it? Brennan got 20.714. Ron Hornaday 20.715.
So where did Bloomquist end up at? I mean, that's
Bloomquist 31st. Let me finish here. Ty Dillon, then Scott Bloomquist, Ryan Blaney, Dakota Armstrong, Joe Cobb, and then German Quiroga. Now, it's interesting. I remember back a couple of years ago talking with Dakota. This is when he was trying to get his first truck ride. Or not, I don't know if it's necessarily his first. He was trying to get a constant ride because he was going around. I would talk to him for probably half hour, an hour out at Martinsville. Then before too long, he's racing trucks, and he's now racing nationwide as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always nice to be able to catch these young up and comers. We used to have him on here. You know,
I thought Bloomquist was, well, I guess it was probably early on in qualifying. He was 25th, but he ended up way back like that. Him and Ty Dillon are supposed to be the dirt. They were the dirt boys. They were the ones everybody was talking about. And Larson.
Well, they're going to be starting.
They're going to have a tough time.
Well, let's see.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
This is just the qualifying order for the qualifying heats.
Yeah, so that's all. It ain't going to matter.
Yeah. Now, how many heats were they going to have?
5 heats.
So it's 7 people in a heat.
Now, you got...
The first 4 make it?
Yeah, what you go? I think it's something like that.
Because that gives you 20
out of the 7 cars.
Right.
There's 4 cars automatically locked in, and 3 cars who are not locked in each one.
Okay, so the first 4 of each group is automatically in, so you have your 20, and then the remaining 15, we have to battle it out for
the remaining 10 because they're only taking 30.
Well, no, right. Well, I'm saying the remaining 15 have to battle out.
Yeah, remaining 15 have to battle for the 10 spots.
Right. Now they're going to have all of them in the last chance race or something? Last chance qualifier. LCQ, last chance qualifier.
That's it.
So.
And that ought to be interesting, too.
That will be what's going to make it through. We never did say who our guest list is for tonight.
No, we sure didn't. First guest will be Carl Long. Then Brian Keselowski, he's going to come on and talk about his car that he had with.
Hey, Carl, how you doing today? All right, you ready to be on the show? Well, good deal, because you already are. We got Carl Long on the line with us. Long time no talk to you. Last time I remember talking to you, you were traveling in your van, going through the mountains. I think you were heading out to California to do some road racing back then.
I would have been going out west, but it wasn't to do any road racing.
It's been a long time. It's probably been about a year and a half since we last talked to you.
Yeah, I'm just now getting into the Indianapolis area, so I'm still driving again. But I'm on my company jet called a PT Cruiser.
Easiest takeoff and landing you got out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So who are you with now, Carl?
The last weekend I drove for Rick Ware. He has a 23 car he runs part time and a 15 car.
Mm-hmm.
And this weekend I'm driving for Mike Harmon. Robert Richardson will be in a 23.
Yeah.
We've got kind of a partnership with Rick going, and just wherever I need to be at it. I don't have a full-time spot at any of them, but you just have to do what you've got to do from week to week to make a dollar.
Now, does Rick Ware own the 23 car now, or does Robert still own it?
It's a joint partnership that it basically is when Robert, he has 15 races that he's running, and Rick's running the other 17 or 18.
Oh, okay.
That way they both keep a lock in and a point, so they share some things together, but it's the same deal with the 70 car does it with Jay Robinson and Joanna Long. They share a deal like that, so it's kind of common, but you just have to watch it, pay attention, and know what's going on.
So, are you working in the shop with any of the? I know one time you were working in the shop helping some folks, or working with a team.
I'll go over and set some things up and help them crew chief things like with Harmon's car. I've been working as a driver coach for J.C. Bloom, and he started with Ware at the first of the year, but they kind of fell out of the points, and that's one of the things. He didn't want to fly all the way up from Mexico and not have a guaranteed locked-in spot when he gets to the racetrack. And you know, at the bottom end of the totem pole where we're at, we don't have the big money and stuff. It's 4 or 5 teams this way. It's just hard to keep it locked in. And he had a bad finish at Daytona and wasn't able to keep the points locked in. And Mike did, so I carried him over to Mike. And now Mike is out of the lock-in, and they've been reluctant to decide where they want to race at next. I may run him in the 79 car for Archie at Go Green Racing. He has a couple of opportunities, so I'm working on that now. But they just want that guaranteed stuff when they fly in from Mexico that they're not going to go home, that they're going to run the race.
And that, in the way it is now, you know, the guarantee stuff is hard to come by.
Yes, it is.
Well, Carl,
yes,
go ahead.
As far as working in the shop, I'm actually during the week. I'm doing insurance adjustment work on big tractor trailers when they crash.
Oh man!
I got to figure something. You know, my career being the next Dale Earnhardt or Jeff Gordon has been looking kind of dim.
Well, Carl, tell us a little bit. A lot of people probably don't know where you started, and give us a little background of how what you've been doing in your career. The first time I ever came in contact with you, and you probably don't. I know you don't remember me, but I came in contact with you at Charlotte one time when you let Darrell Waltrip drive your car.
Yep, that would have been the first Cup race I qualified for back in 2000.
Yep, I was there, and I was in the garage and hanging out in the garage right near y'all at the same time, and I saw when y'all made the deal and he got in your car.
Yeah, I thought at that time putting an iconic figure in the car. I knew I didn't have a race motor. All we had was a qualifying motor, and it wouldn't have lasted 80 miles. So if to put Darrell in the car and me than to go out there and blow up the thing that I had or put the engine in it that I ran in the ARCA race. And I kind of thought I'd get some adoption papers out of it. Darryl just had daughters, but I've been still waiting on those adoption papers. He's come to my rescue and helped me a little bit with some other things over there, but it didn't really quite turn out the way I wanted it to. But Darryl's been good to me afterwards, but never opened the door and said, "Here's your team, go drive." And but it is what it is. We all make our choices in life, and if I had to make that choice over again, I'd probably do the same thing.
So where did you get started, and just give us a brief rundown on that.
I got started when I was about 6 years old. My dad ran the Baby Grand Series, which used to run the four-cylinder cars on Saturday before the Cup cars, or Grand Nationals was called, on Sunday. So they would have me in the trailer hold the brakes when they pushed the Volkswagen Beetle off the back of it. And so that's how I got started. And then in about 1983, 82, somewhere like that, they had opened Orange County Speedway back up. Mason Day, who had owned South Boston, Virginia, bought the track which was called Trico, and it's now Orange County. We used to actually go out there on Sundays. My dad had 3 Volkswagen Beetles and a Mercury Capri that he had used to run in the Dash Series that had gotten outdated. And so I raced my dad and his 2 uncles out there when I was 12 years old, riding around on a Sunday afternoon. And when they reopened the Speedway in '83, we started their mini stock class. And it took me 6 years of winning races and running good enough, and I had to manage a Domino's Pizza to get enough money to get the motor in front of me instead of behind me.
Well, you've had an interesting career with moving back and forth. I know you're doing the nationwide series stuff now. In your time, I know you got that situation with the Cup. Is that resolved to the point where you can drive a Cup car now?
Not until I pay them $200,000. I can't even go in the garage.
Well, see, that's what I thought. I remember somebody telling me that when I was down there one time, and so that's still out there. What about all these other things that you've been seeing lately with all these people, all this stuff going on, and what I understood of the situation, you didn't do anything worse than anybody else did. I mean,
All I can say is I don't build my engines, and still wouldn't know how to do it. But we purchased the engine back then, and I took the engine builder to court and proved that he sold me an engine that was illegal, knowing it was illegal. But his lawyers proved that he sold me that engine to go to Daytona, and I didn't have no problems at Daytona, so he wasn't responsible for any of the damages and the stuff I incurred at Charlotte. I mean, to me, you get an engine to run 700-800 miles on it to go to Speed Weeks at Daytona, and I only had 180 miles on it, so we changed the cam and the intake in it, and he never really opened it up and checked the bore and the stroke. But that's what the court decided, so that's just the way it is. He had to give me the money for the motor back, but that was it. I didn't get anything to take care of my fine or being out racing or any of the rest of it. So that's their decision, and you have to honor it and go on down the road.
Now, I remember a while back you had, I forget where it was somewhere that they actually had something in there posted and people were doing donations. How far did that go? Is it still up and running?
No, we stopped that thing. It lasted for about the first 3 or 4 months or so. I think we collected a little over $20,000, and with the PayPal stuff on it, on some of the other stuff, it wound up being about 16 cash. And when we knew it wasn't going to make there's no way it was going to come close to that 200. I put another post back on it. Anybody wanting their money returned, I would, because it would make it. Otherwise, I just took it and paid off all of the debt we incurred going to Charlotte. And I still had to come out with about $10,000 out of pocket to get back to broke even. Even using, I think I spent about $30,000 to go to Charlotte, and like I said, and that stuff that I took in was about 16. So
Well, I left what I sent you in there, so hopefully that kept you a little bit long.
Well, we had it in an account waiting, and like I said, towards the end of the year when I knew it wasn't going to be no way to do it, we paid Goodyear to tire the old people off, and we paid the other stuff that was there, and it just broke even with it. Even at $20,000 total money, that didn't even, like I said, it didn't even hardly come to scratching our debt.
Oh, yeah.
But it would have been great had they not changed the format for the race, because we were supposed to have picked up $30,000 for starting, but they had 2 extra spots, and so they gave the 2 extra spots instead of they added them to the field at $5,000 a piece, and that was something we wasn't expected. We would have been in the field, and then when the backup motor blew up the third lap in the race, I was one of the guys that only got $5,000 from NASCAR instead of the $28,000 it would have took to get started. So anyway, it just, when it rains, it pours, and it was pouring boulders on me then.
Yeah, lots of stuff pouring on you.
Well, it's amazing to me that you've stayed with it as long as you have and done, with all that stuff going on. That's got to be a great thing for you to know that you've stayed with it. It's something you love to do, and you kept it going.
It is, and the side product is that, between you and myself, I was very disappointed in the way all this stuff come down, having an issue trying to even find work, and people wondering, what I had done to anybody at NASCAR to deserve such a fine, had I been messing with somebody's wife or what, It just kept coming down. I actually put out probably 200 or so different resumes trying to find work outside of racing to use my NASCAR notoriety, the people I knew. Roger Brehm, Hendrick, all these people that I thought I could have been a national sales rep for somebody, but I didn't have a college education. All my education was in racing, and apparently it never made it past the bean counters that looked for applications. So although it's something I may have changed if I could have found the right thing, the chances left me if I was going to try to make a living. The only thing I really knew how to make a living in was racing. So make it happen. I just won't be able to make it in the Cup Series.
Well, that's a bad break. I think you deserve the chance to come on back, and I think it's been long enough now to let that go.
I tell you what, if I ever win the lottery, I'll make sure that gets paid off for you so you can get back in there. How's that?
Well, one of the things that I've been trying to do is trying to take a negative and make a positive out of it. And I've had some interest in, especially when Matt Kenseth got his fine, because, Toyota stood up and said, okay, that's our engine. We had a problem, and we'll take care of the fine. But what I've been looking at is just in average money. One Cup race, a national sponsor spends about $350,000 to do a single Cup race with a Jimmy Johnson or Dale Jr.
Mm-hmm.
If I could get the $350,000 for one race, I could give them $1 million worth of advertisement, because we would take 200 of that and go give it in a big charity donation to the NASCAR Foundation, so they would have a straight right to a charity. That'd leave me $150,000 left over to go drive for Tommy Baldwin or Frankie Stoddard or somebody else, because we could actually do it for $150. And that particular sponsor would get national headlines for the week for being a guy that put me back into racing. So that's the kind of angle that I've been trying to market it on before I get too fat and too old to get behind the wheel.
Well, that would be a good plan. I'd love to see somebody be able to step up and give you a handout, get you going back in there.
If I had it, you'd have it. I'd make sure you get back. I tell you that.
That sounds great.
So if you take in here that I've won the lottery, come chase my butt down, and we'll get you hooked up.
Well, if I hit the lottery, I don't know if I'd pay to sign up. I might just go buy me a boat somewhere and hand me a hamburger shack over in the corner.
Oh, God.
Well, It's been you know I've been trying to get you on the show for a while because I've always been impressed with you, and I've always followed you when you were racing, even now with the nationwide stuff, and I just admire your tenacity to stay with it. That's something I just think is great.
Well, like I said, I grew up in it, and it's a part of who you are. I have gave away a lot of good jobs and turned down a lot of good things. I've missed my family's weddings and funerals and everything else so I can go race. My uncle got married one time, and he was getting married on Sunday, and our race got rained out on Saturday night. So two of my uncles went to the wedding. One of them had to be in it, and I took it as a chance to pass them in the points.
Yeah, so you hadn't taken advantage of the situation that was dealt to you.
Absolutely.
Well, Carl, we appreciate your time. I know you're getting ready to get to Indy, and wish you the best this weekend. And hopefully, sometime I'll get down to Charlotte. Maybe I can run into you somewhere down there and have a long talk with you.
Sure, that would be great. So I'm gonna try to get the '74 car in this weekend of Mike Harmon, and one of the people that I work for doing insurance adjusting is HE Adjusters, and they're going to help me out with some tires so we can hopefully stay out there the whole race.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, we have to either run into him at Richmond or Martinsville.
Well, my son is down in Charlotte, so I try to get down there every now and then and hit the shops and everything. So I'm gonna try to run into you sometime.
Well, if y'all ever get to any of these racetracks and you don't really have a lot to do, just look me up. I'll give you a tire buggy or something. I'll put you to work. We'll you there, buddy.
Hey, you could get me for free, no problem.
I'll do the spotting because I do that for some of the guys here locally. So, plus I've been late model, so I got a little bit of a feel there.
Well, we appreciate your time tonight, Carl. Let you get back to doing whatever you're doing, and be careful out there on the road.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
We thank you. Appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He's crazy. I did not know he was that,
Oh, God, yes. I have to find it. I don't know if I've uploaded it yet to YouTube because I've got all the way back to, at least 2005, 2001. I've got so many these freaking videos to upload. And, yeah, we had a hoot with him. Oh, my God. But yeah, we sent in, we helped him out. So,
he was something else. I wasn't expecting that kind of boisterous thing. With everything he's been through. I don't know if I'd have been. If I knew I couldn't afford to do the thing, I don't know if I'd be still in it. I just,
Well, he's at first they were trying to hit him on all different racing levels. They were trying to tell him he can't do nationwide, he can't do truck. But the thing was, the fine was in Sprint in the Cup Series. So they eventually finally said, okay, you can't do anything in Cup, but you can still do nationwide and trucks, trying to still make some money to be able to hopefully pay it off. Hopefully they give him like a low-end loan, so to speak. I wonder if now the fines, they all go to the NASCAR Foundation stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You trying to look up Ryan?
Well, I mean, I don't have his number, but I was going to send.
I got it.
Yeah, every fine goes through the NASCAR Foundation, but I had heard that he could not go in the Cup garage. I did not know if that was really true or not.
Yeah.
Sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Please.
Ooh, Brian. I'll send him a quick text.
So Brian's had a lot going on today.
Your call-in time is 7:30. The number is hurry up, phone, catch up. Sometimes these phones are really good. Sometimes they're... Okay.
Nice. sent Jen a message. He just Carl Long just amazed me. I couldn't believe that. He's a I see why he's a happy-go-lucky guy around the garage. I think he just loves being there.
Yeah, he's with everything that's going on. You gotta be able to just roll with it and keep right in digging in.
Well, we're waiting on Brian Keselowski to call in. Hope he'll get the message. Because I talked to Jen today. Gave her the number and everything for him to call, but
he should have the number because I'm pretty sure I'm on his.
Yeah.
So.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box.
Which means he's on the phone with somebody. I have to beat him like a red-haired stepchild.
Oh well.
But anywho, I meant to ask him what he thought about the racing of the Eldora race.
I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be wild. See how many trucks actually make it back.
So how many are going to be slammed?
It's a neat looking track. I mean, you're looking at the picture there. Last night, that track had rubber in it, and what was it? I think it was Bloomquist said they're not going to be able to drive it like they normally do and sling that back end out after a while because whoever can keep it straight is the one's going to have.
Jared Landers wins the second heat. Uh-oh. I need to get to... I had Eldora on here. Driving up their likes on Facebook. I'm gonna have to fuss at him. Tell him they ain't been posting nothing on there. But
Now Jared Landers, he's one of those dirt drivers.
Must have more dirt. Idiots.
Well, they said one of the guys on the radio last night said, "Whoever came up with this idea ought to be," and they cut him off right there.
Hey, it's a great idea. Tony campaigned for it and got it theirs. I mean, what the heck?
Well, he was one of the ones that went to NASCAR and said, "We can make it happen," and obviously he knew exactly what he was talking about because they've done a heck of a job with it. I mean,
considering that before they let anything run, they've got to have facilities for taking care of anybody. I'm about ready to just go back to Jay's Key and look see if it's on Jay's Key. Oh, that's right. That's what I got this one for. Okay.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that is not...
I don't think he's going to be called.
You want to text Jennifer, or you already texted her?
I've already texted her, and she ain't even sent nothing back. So I know today they had a film crew in here with them today at their shop. So I know they've been busy today during the day.
You don't want to have to miss not being on the show. We badmouth you if you don't. Now, didn't he have? Let's see, last week? No, week before was it? No, was it last week or week before?
It was New Hampshire weekend.
New Hampshire weekend. They had
Morgan Shepherd in
Morgan out there,
and supposedly they've got another race that Morgan's going to run later on in the season.
So he can break his record again, being the oldest race driver.
And he's trying to get his car in Pocono next week. He wants to drive the car at Pocono next week. And there's even talk he's going to try to drive an ARCA. We're going to have an ARCA car too. So that's what I was hoping he'd be here on tonight and let us know what he was doing. I guess best made plans. They must be out and about.
Well,
when do we start talking trash about it?
Any minute now. This is almost time for the next person.
Oh yeah, I need to get that phone number for you too.
Yeah, that one I don't have.
Need to get that one for you because he sent me his. He's another one in doing something tonight. One of those nights when you think you have everything good and it just don't work out. Yeah. Don't guess we're going to hear from Brian Keselowski. He'll probably call right in the middle of the next one. That's when he'll call.
I was like, oh, no, we just won't answer it.
I forgot all about it. I'll get on Jen tomorrow. I'll see when I talk to her.
Well, they have them separated up who's going to be running now and which race. Jared Landers, I think somebody posted already on Facebook that he won the second heat race. I don't know who won the first heat race. They haven't posted that yet. You know what? At least NASCAR is usually better. Oh, here's lineups and results. 1 minute.
Final and the
Schrader won the first one. Hefner was second. Blaney was third. Coulter was fourth. Hines, Weller, and Bloomquist. Bloomquist was last in that one.
But he's locked in, so he don't have to.
How's he locked in?
He's in Kyle Busch's 51 truck.
Oh, okay.
So he's locked in. He's one of the locked in ones.
So he doesn't matter. All right, the qualifying the second one. Jared Landers, Matt Crafton, Miguel Paludo, Darrell Wallace Jr. at fourth. They were made it in. Babcock, Armstrong, and Benning, they did not. Timothy Peters, he won the qualifying third race, followed by Brendan Gaughan, Kyle Larson, and Jason Bowles. Hornaday Jr., Ryan Blaney, and Clay Greenfield are going to have to go for the last chance qualifier. So they're 7:45. They just started the qualifying race for number 4.
And Kenny Wallace is in this one.
Kenny, Brennan's in this one too. John West Townley, Joe Cobb, Austin Dillon, Gresham, and Busher. So that'll be interesting.
Austin Dillon is not. I mean, he was fast in one practice, but he's not. And he's a dirt driver. He drives them dirt late models. He goes to Wythe County all the time and drives a late model. He's calling in 1 minute.
Who?
Is he a...
You're going to need to text your other buddy. Let's Talk Racing.
Yeah, it's Ryan Keselowski.
Who is this?
Yeah, Ryan Keselowski.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Is it really? Could it really be him?
That's Brian Keselowski.
No, that would, if it had been 15 minutes ago, it would have been Brian Keselowski.
Yeah, well, what happens is when you start working on race car, you get a little behind.
Yeah, we were talking trash about you. You know that, right?
Hey, that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, we won't talk it too bad. It wasn't that bad.
And we hadn't gotten to it really bad yet. So you managed to call in before you tripped that timer.
All right, well, that's good. The 15-minute clock. We had to bump that back a little bit.
Oh.
Well, look, tell us a little bit about your deal you had it with Morgan Shepherd, how all that came about, and how good that worked out.
Well, how that came about, a couple of the partners that I'm working with had talked to Morgan at the nationwide races because they're involved with some nationwide series teams too. And they decided that Morgan had a little bit of money that he had gotten from a sponsor, and they didn't even really care about being on the car. And we knew that we were trying to come up with as much money as we could, and part of the deal is we have to be able to get money to be able to race, and it just costs a certain amount of money to go to races, and that's what it took. And I did not have the sponsorship, so we decided to put Morgan in the car, and once we announced that, then all of a sudden everybody started coming out of the woodwork, and we got almost double the amount of sponsorship by the time we got ready to go to the race, so that was good. And that helped out a lot, but unfortunately we just weren't running very good. So it's been a long time since Morgan's been in a Cup car, and he's never been in one of these CLT cars. So one of the first things he had to work around was just the amount of power that the cars had, and we just had a lot of work to do. Us being a fairly young team, we need to get to the racetrack and learn more, and every time we do, we're going to get better. But if we can't test and we can't keep showing up to the racetrack every week, it's really hard. And these guys change so much stuff in just a matter of a week or two. Everybody finds new little things that work, and we're 2 months behind because that's the last time we went to the racetrack. So we had a lot of learning to do when we got there, but it all come together pretty quick. And we ended up coming home in one piece. Unfortunately, we did not finish the race like we were hoping for. But Morgan felt like it was better that we should park the car instead of putting it in harm's way.
Well, I agree with that. You don't want to tear up something that you're trying to build with it, so you don't want to tear it up too much.
Yeah, exactly. But we definitely intended on going there and racing. Unfortunately, we just weren't running very good, and we started getting in the way, and nobody needs that. And we're not trying to push people out of the way for points, and they're trying to go out there and win championships, and we're just trying to learn. So we just didn't need to put ourselves where we shouldn't have been. So, I think we learned a lot of things not to do. A bunch of things to do, but maybe we learned a lot not to do when we were there. And hopefully we can come back next time and do better.
All right, now I know I was talking to Jen today, and we were texting, and I know that you had a film crew there at your shop today. You're talking about how you're getting sponsorship for your cars and everything to go to Pocono. Why don't you give us a lowdown on that and how things are going with going to Pocono?
Sure. Well, we had put some stuff out on our social media sites between Twitter and Facebook about trying to find sponsorship. And it just so happened that one of the producers for the local radio or TV station here follows Jen and noticed that what we're trying to do and what we've been trying to do in the past. And thought it was a pretty neat story that we're kind of doing this cup deal and trying to do it on the ground level and trying to work on sponsorship instead of just showing up and starting barking. And, we put anything we can get on the car, and we want to prove to people that we can go out there and have a vessel to be able to put on TV and get them the kind of coverage they're looking for and kind of get them in on the ground level of a Sprint Cup Series deal. And it doesn't always have to cost, $500,000 or more a race to be able to be a part of this. And you know, that's something they found that was pretty neat, and got a chance to get on TV, and I think it's going to be on TV tomorrow. And it's a local TV station, but you know, that's what matters, is you just got to be able to get out there. You can't buy coverage like that. So
No.
the fact that they thought enough of us to be able to put us on TV and thought about what we were trying to do, and we just keep plugging away at it. We just keep trying to find sponsorship, just like Pocono here this coming week. We're still working on sponsorship. We've got a few interesting people, but nothing signed on the dotted line yet. So we need to come up with a primary sponsor to be able to go on that race the way we want to.
Well, now I had read somewhere along the line you had talked about possibly running the ARCA race up there too.
Well, we had talked about it. At this point, I don't think that's going to happen because, as it is, we're just trying to find enough sponsorship to do the Cup deal. So I've never driven Pocono myself. I haven't actually been there since 1994. So I wasn't very old at that point. But
No.
I don't even know how to get to the track. So it would have been nice to be able to go there. And I do have an ARCA car sitting here on the ground, and it's, you know, within a few days and ready to go. And, you know, we had some deals where we thought we were going to put it together and go racing, so we got it pretty close. But at this point, if you can't come up with a sponsorship around the Cup car, you surely can't use it for the ARCA car. So, you know, if something comes along and we can do it, and we're not too far away from putting the car together, but at this point, we're concentrating on the Cup team.
So do you say you don't have anything yet for the on the dotted line for Pocono? So you're still up in the air looking at Pocono for going to Pocono.
Yeah, I'm sorry, say that again?
You're still up in the air about going to Pocono. I mean,
Yeah, we're still working on that. I mean, we put our entry in. The entries are due on Tuesday, the week before the race. So our entry's in, and I think we're going to go no matter what, but I really want to find enough sponsorship to do it the way we need to do it. And obviously money at this point buys speed, so that's what we need to do. And we can learn a lot more if we get a lot more. And, you know, we can buy more tires, and we can do more stuff the way that we should do it instead of just trying to scrape by. So we don't want to do it that way, but, you know, we got to go there and learn either way, so we're going to at least try to do that. But I'd really like to go there and race. And if we get the opportunity to do that, that's what I want to do.
So are you still working with that other group that you were working with in Richmond? Was it, I forget what it was now. Was it Go Green or?
Yeah, one of the guys from Go Green and one of the guys that behind Jimmy Means on his deal came together during the winter, and we all partnered up to put this deal together. And they got their own car with the Ford that they ran at Sonoma, and they're going to probably run it a couple other times with our number on the car. But we're all partners in the car that I own. So we have one car out of my shop and one car out of his, but you know, we're all partners on this thing and try to make it all work.
All right, now last week you were at Chicago. You were crew chief in a car at Chicago, I believe, weren't you?
Yeah, I was crew chief in the ARCA car for the Rich Petty driving experience. I work there full time now as the head driving instructor for the Eastern region. So it's a good job. It's something to do while I'm not racing. Obviously, I'd love to go racing and be there every week, but at this point, it's just on the cards. So I had to go find a full-time job, a real job. It's not so bad a real job if you had to do it, but got to go out there and try to find everything I could. But they offered me the chance to come out and crew chief their ARCA car for them. I did it at Road America back in June, and we finished top 10, which was the first time they had a top 10 with their ARCA team, so they were pretty happy with that. And really worked on the Chicago car. I bought it to my own shop and put it on a pull-down rig and worked on it hard, and I thought we had a really good package. And we did, and we were about a 7th to 8th place car, which for where we were at and the experience with the driver was going to be about right. And then we had a little incident in qualifying where we spun out, and it went through the grass and hurt the car a little bit. And it wasn't bad enough to where it was, you know, it was just a little bit of cosmetics, but it was bad enough to where we were racing right about the 14th area, and I thought we should have been better than that. But that's where we ended up. So we ended up 14th this weekend with that. And then this weekend we're going to New Jersey and running that road course up there with the ARCA cars. So, yeah, definitely keeping busy.
Yeah, you stay busy. You're on the road a lot.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yeah, so I'm not on the road with driving experience. I'm on the road with our ARCA team or with my Cup team. So it seems like I'm not in Charlotte too often, but you know, we do everything we can to keep going.
Now, do you have pretty much, have you got an idea what races you're going to try to make, or is it still all a wish list?
Yeah, it's kind of a wish list at this point, but we've got about somewhere between 7 or 8 more races that we're looking at doing. We're looking at Watkins Glen. We're trying to be smart about where we go, where there isn't going to be a lot of extra cars. So we're not trying to fight people just to get into the race. So when we go, we have a chance to learn. Because if you're missing a race and just trying to go as fast as you possibly can every lap around the track, you never really learn that much. So right now, if we go and there's only 43 cars, we get a chance to do race-type stuff, which is what I've never got a chance to do. So we're keep improving, but if we don't keep going to the racetrack, we start 2 years behind, and by the end of the day, we might be 2 months behind. And we gain a lot, but the problem is we're still behind. So we just need to keep going to the racetrack every week. Keep learning more, and that's just the key to it. Try to keep our car in one piece and learn as much as we can. So when we get a chance to actually come back and race, we can be a competitive team.
Cool. Now, Richmond or Martinsville on your list for the end of the year?
Yeah, Richmond, Martinsville not right now, but looking at Chicago and Loudon, Richmond, I believe Kansas, and possibly Phoenix. So there's a couple in between that are kind of, we're waffling on a little bit, but, pretty much we've got to take it week by week, make sure we keep our car in one piece, and if we don't, then we got to come back and work on it, and then be able to come back a month or so later. But we're not a big team. We only have one car between me and my partners, and then they have a car of their own, but they'll run that sometimes with some drivers that come with money. But for my car and what I'm doing, I have one car, and I'm not a big team. I can't fix a car if we wreck it that week. So we need to keep the thing in one piece and keep learning what we can, and get to the track and hopefully come back again.
Cool beans. Because we usually try to make it out to Martinsville. Of course, you've seen me there before quite a few times, and also to Richmond. So it'd be nice to get to run back up to you. Maybe this time we can really go to a steak place as opposed to a place that doesn't have one.
Exactly.
All right, well, we appreciate you calling in. I know you're busy and getting things done and getting ready for Pocono and going away this weekend. Appreciate you taking time to call in, and I hope everything works out and you get to Pocono.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it a lot.
Hey, at least we know where to go do the driving experience. I was trying to say it loud enough so you'd hear it.
Oh,
It's I've done this for a few people. I say, oh yeah, we can go do this somewhere else, and then I say, yeah, come on, we'll take and hook you up. So well, he could have been.
See, I've done Atlanta.
Where's now? I was going to ask him where's he going to be? Where is he at? Is he at Charlotte? Is he Atlanta?
He does. He says he does the East. I'm sure he has something to do with all of them. I mean, he probably goes to. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I can always call him up and ask him. Yeah, call him up and say, okay, come on, let's go have some fun in the cars. Let's go do a few laps. Alrighty.
I did Atlanta and I did Disney World.
I did Charlotte. Actually, who was it? It's Charlotte. Oh my gosh, Jimmy Kitchens was in the other. Let's say my sister-in-law. Son's mother and father live outside Turn 3 at Charlotte. So I took his dad out with me to the driving experience because I knew some of the drivers and stuff that did it. Well, I hooked up with Jimmy Kitchens and one of the ASA drivers. His name was Moore, I believe. I've got the stuff back in the house somewhere. But anyway, took him out there, and he never knew what was going on. He thought we were just going out there to look and watch. And I went over and signed us both up for the ride-along. And I talked with Jimmy Kitchens and the other guy. And so Jimmy Kitchens was driving the 24, and the other guy was driving the 20 car. So he was a big Jeff Gordon fan. So he got the car he wanted, and I got the car I wanted. And so we went out there driving against each other in the ride-along series. And Jimmy knew all about it, and I brought him over and introduced him, and he was just, oh, wow, because he didn't think I really knew all these people, and he was just, and he says, oh, by the way, come here, you need to come over here and get one of these. Gave him a helmet. What are we doing? Well, we're getting in this car, we're going to do a few laps. He was like to cry after it was all over with. Oh, my God, it was great.
I had a blast. My mom and dad gave me a trip down to Atlanta to do that one, and I had a blast. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And I had Brad Nossinger in the car in front of me when we were out there playing, and all Lee told me was, "Dad, don't you embarrass me." because everybody was coming out of the pits. They would choke off. You know, they let the clutch out and it would choke off. And he kept telling me, "Dad, don't you embarrass me. Don't you be doing that." So I took off out of the pit like normal. Of course, first of all, I got in trouble. I'm getting in the car and I start putting all the belts on. You know, 'cause I know how to put belts on.
Oh, they didn't want you to put them on yet.
No. They have to make sure they want to make sure you're doing it right.
Oh.
So the guy leaned in the window. He said, "You've done this before, haven't you?" I said, "Yeah, a couple times." And he said, "Okay, but we have to do this." So they checked everything out. But I took off down pit road, and they told us in the thing, they said, "If we do this, we want you to speed up." And he said, "The guy in the car doing this, that means he wants you to slow down."
I thought he was just waving me by.
So we took off out and we made our first lap. Well, we come through there the first time. I never saw the guy. He never did this to me. But the guy in the car was waving because I was right on him a couple times. And we pulled back in the pit after it was over with. He climbed out of the car and came back there to me. I said, "Oh, Lord, I done pissed him off. Now he's going to come back here and race with me." But he come back and he said, "You drove race cars before, haven't you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can tell when people have done it." So,
yeah, I think when we went around, we did a top speed of like 170 out there.
well, Lee did the ride along
Uh-huh.
with two drivers.
Yeah.
And Lee had never, I mean, he'd been to races and stuff, but he'd never been out on a big track like that. And they took off down through there side by side and went out on the track. And one of the guys, I don't know who the driver was, looked at Lee and he said, "Oh, watch this." And he banged him. And Lee said, "Come in." I said, "Lee, what'd you think about it?" I said, "I told him do it again."
Oh God, God, I wish I could remember his name. I'll remember it later and it'll pop right up. But yeah, he was saying, I was telling him faster, because they would go out just barely skimming across the wall and stuff. So,
oh, I had a blast.
It was fun.
I got it all on tape. And
Yes, Pizza Hut, what would you like to order today?
I would like 4 pepperonis delivered somewhere in Virginia. I'm not quite sure, though.
All right, that'll be $3,000. Your credit card number, please.
I'm actually a little short on credit cards right now.
Oh, you must be a race car driver.
I absolutely am.
how you doing tonight, Doug?
Good. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. This is Jack. I'm the one that's been talking to you on the Facebook and stuff.
Nice. How you doing, Jack?
I'm glad to meet you. And I wanted to get you on because I've been watching you on that modified, driving those modifieds, and you in that big race at New Hampshire, and you did a great job that day.
Yeah, thanks.
So tell us a little bit about your background, where you got started and everything, because a lot of people don't know who you are, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I started racing when I was 6 years old in quarter midgets, and was fortunate enough to be able to move on after I graduated up to Stafford Speedway up in Connecticut, and ran a full-body late model for about 3 years, and then a super late model type car for 2 years, and won championships in both of those divisions, and then moved up to the modifieds, which up here are king. You know, the weekly tracks up in Connecticut. There's 3 NASCAR weekly tracks. Staffordtown, Waterford, and they all race SK modifieds as the feature division, and those are similar to the tour type modifieds, just with a 2-barrel carb and you know, kind of more not stock engine parts, but not as fast as the tour cars. And moved up to the tour in my early 20s, and kind of was a part. I ran the tour full time for 3 or 4 years, I think. Well, we'll call it 4 years. And then I was a part-timer on the tour for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, and just really couldn't put a ride together with sponsorship, and did what I could and tried to show people that I could drive the cars, and then I finally landed this full-time ride in the 52 car that you guys see me driving now.
Cool. Now, are you running dirt or asphalt?
Asphalt.
Asphalt.
Yeah, we're all asphalt. I've actually never even been to a dirt race in my life.
Are you keeping up with the race at Eldora tonight?
Yeah, I'm watching it on TV right now. It actually looks. We have a couple modified tracks up here in New England that are so beat up that you pretty much run our cars half throttle around them and they slide around everywhere. So it kind of looks like one of those races to me.
Yeah. Yeah. For those that are not able to watch right now, Jeb Burton prevailed in the final qualifying race. Newman second. Ty Dillon and then Sauter, Quiroga, Jennings, and Silas are out for the LCQ.
So what are your plans? Do you like being in the modified series and you plan on running that, or are you looking to move into other forms of racing too?
Well, unfortunately, I'm over the age of 30, so I think my chances to move on to anything higher than the modifieds are limited. In terms of moving on and running other cars, I've run a midget this year for Tim Bertrand, who's one of the more well-known northern midget car owners. So I did that a few times and won my second feature start up here at Seacons. That I can, if it's good equipment. I mean, I'd love to get back into full-body cars and run some more big mile roads just to keep me fresh and remembering like it's been since 2000 that's what 13 years ago that I last ran a full body car full time. But yeah, in terms of moving up, you guys know how it is. It takes a whole lot of sponsorship, and they want some of these younger guys to get into those cars. So seems like the opportunities are limited. But I'll tell you what, the modifieds, in my opinion, are the best cars in all of NASCAR to drive. So I guess if you're going to be stuck somewhere, in my opinion, it's one of the best places to be.
Cool.
Where all have you was New Hampshire wasn't your first win in the modifieds?
No, I've got 8 tour wins in the modifieds. We actually won at New Hampshire last September as well.
I thought so, yeah.
I won at Thompson. They actually had a big game show 2 years ago up there. They paid $25,000 to win for a north-south modified combo race. We won that one, and I've won at Stafford and Waterford on the tour. That's pretty much it.
Now I'm scanning through your Facebook page here, and I noticed you had one thing here. It looks like this big, huge crystal glass on top of this tall-ass trophy, 2012 NASCAR champion.
Yeah, that's the Tour Championship trophy. It's sitting in my living room right now, and not a lot of people get to have something as cool as that on their resume, or really nobody does. I mean, there's only a handful of us, and we got to go down and do the big NASCAR banquet down in Charlotte with all the other regional champions, and I got to spend a week down there last December and just really have a good time with my crew to celebrate our accomplishment in 2012. We came out of the gate last year flying and won 5 out of 14 tour races last season, and just managed to lock up the championship there in the last race. So it was kind of a surprise championship, I think. I definitely know that I wasn't somebody that people thought was going to contend last year, and we ended up winning last year, and right now we're third in points this year, so we're kind of hoping to do it again.
Well, cool beans. I was going to say, you don't look like you're over 30. Come on now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'd like to lie to a lot of people down south and just say that I'm about 21 or 22, and I'm really 33. So.
Doesn't he look like a young punk there?
Yeah, looks a whole lot younger than us.
Well, anybody looks younger than you. Oh, sorry about that. But well, I can't talk either.
Right.
I'm sitting here with the big-ass beard starting to sprout out again and the bald head.
So, now, you're on your tour that I've only been keeping up with it really this year. Where all have you race at Bristol and everywhere, right?
We do go to Bristol. Actually, we're there this August. I want to say August 20th or 21st. We race at Bristol right before the truck race. We go to Loudon twice. We go to Stafford, Thompson, and Waterford in Connecticut, Riverhead, Long Island. We go to a small little quarter mile up in New Hampshire, Monadnock Speedway this weekend. Where the heck else do we go on the tour? I think that might be it for tracks.
Well, what's it like? I know you've been to Bristol, so what's it like racing at Bristol in a modified? I've never been there to see it, but I tell you that has. As fast as those modifieds are, that's got to be something else.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy there. I actually missed the first two Bristol races that they ran because I didn't have a ride, or I didn't have a full-time ride, and the guys that I ran for weren't going to go down for a midweek show. So I've only gone there twice, and we've had a great car both times. And last year we were running fifth with, like, I think there was 6 or 7 to go, or something like that, 10 to go, and got into a wreck. Somebody else wrecked in front of us. But the modifieds there are just crazy. I mean, we're almost wide open all the way around there. On new tires, if the track has some grip in it, you can go wide open all the way around for a lap or two. And then last year, the trucks were there with us, and our cars didn't really like their rubber, so they would practice before we qualified or before we raced, and that would certainly screw things up for us quite a bit. It kind of makes it a little hairy out there. But once we get some rubber on that's our rubber, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't necessarily think we put on the best show there, because I don't think that track I don't think that track fits well with our cars, with how our cars like to work. But at the same time, when you're talking about sheer speed, I mean, you've got cars going up, what's that, a half mile, and we're going around there at, 14.8, 14.9. That's hauling some tail around there, so it's quite fun.
All right, now who do you drive for? What's your team, and give us some of your sponsors.
Yeah, sure. I drive for a gentleman named Wayne Darling. He's very well known up here in the Northeast. Raced himself for a time back in his day, but I won't say how long ago that was. My crew chief John McKenna and Wayne, they started together on the Old Bush North Series and had some really good runs. They were full body guys forever, and Wayne's son David races at Seekonk Speedway in Massachusetts and runs kind of like a super late model there. And then my crew guys are just awesome. They all get along so well, and that's one of the keys, I think, to why we click so well as a team is, we've got a lot of guys on the team with a lot of knowledge and not a lot of ego, and that really helps us all get along very well. And Wayne owns a little family amusement center called Seekonk Grand Prix. It's a go-kart track, mini golf, arcade, all that fun stuff, and that's pretty much our main sponsor. But he has some people, Furnace and Duct, and Reynolds Auto Wrecking, and got some landscaping up here in the Northeast. They all help us out, so it's good to get them plugged when we can.
Now you've definitely, it's got to be good that you don't have the big name sponsors, but y'all are doing so good with what you got.
Yeah, we'd like to have big name sponsors. It's just tough. We only have we have 4 races on television this year, which is pretty cool. So that it'll help you guys even keep up. We've got the Bristol race will be locked on television, and on whatever Fox Sports 2 is now. Beach. Loudon once again, and then you guys will get to see one of our short tracks up here at Thompson Speedway. It's a 5/8, really fast 5/8 high banked oval up here in Connecticut. That's the final race of the season, and that'll be on Fox Sports as well. So I'm glad that NASCAR was able to put something together so that, thank you guys who saw it out loud, and maybe want more. We'll get to see our series a few different tracks this year, just so that you can see how cool it is.
Well, I think that would be good, because I think it's a different type of racing. It's the open wheel racing, but I mean you guys are something else with those cars out there, and I really enjoyed watching it. I don't really keep up with it that much until this year, and it was really something to watch.
Yeah, I would kind of hope that NASCAR could do something for us, kind of like the old Thursday Night Thunder shows. The West, we used to or World of Apple. Do that. Back when I was a kid, I didn't know who any of those guys were, but man, I loved watching those Thursday night shows, and they were on some of the small dirt or paved tracks, out in Indiana. I could care less. I was just there to watch the thing, and I think with us, we have an opportunity to get new people interested in the series and learn who our drivers are. And we've got some crazy personalities on our series. We've got young kids like Brian Priest, he's 22, and then you've got older guys like Ted Christopher and Mike Spanik, who have won every race under the sun. And, then there's a lot of in between who kind of know we're not going anywhere in NASCAR. So we really just don't give a crap, and we just go out and give it our all every week. So it's a fun series to be a part of, and I'm glad that you guys were able to get a taste of it at Loudon. And, not every race is the best race for us. So last year was a rough race, and people kind of were turned off by the television that we put on, the show that we put on for television, but I think we made up for it with our last couple of Loudon races. So hopefully hopefully we do a good job again at some of these tracks and keep you guys interested.
Well, I tell you, in 2115 or 2015, whatever it is, when NBC comes on, the modified series is going to be on there.
Yeah, they said that. I mean, they have the rights for the production or for the broadcast. I don't necessarily know how many races that means they're actually going to put on TV, but hopefully we do a really good job between now and then and really get them excited to put us on television and build that fan base, because I do think that, you know, the fan are changing a little bit. I think people are wanting to see some different attitudes, different types of cars. I think a lot of people are kind of getting bored with the cookie cutter cup racing, and they really like this Eldora race. I mean, you've got trucks on dirt, and that's what everybody's going to watch.
Yeah.
But modified that louder, and it's kind of the same, you know, same fanfare type thing, where it's just something different, and you know, you get more people involved in the grassroots part of NASCAR. It's only going to carry on to the upper levels. So I think it's good for everybody to have all these short track races broadcast on television.
Well, I never, you know, I had a cousin that ran in the modified series way back. His name was Satch Worley. I don't know if you ever heard that name.
Oh yeah, I've heard that name.
And I never paid any attention to it. And you know, starting this year, I really started paying attention to it. I like it better than some of the other races that I've been watching anyway, and I think it would be, you know, like they do with the K&N series. They bring it on like on a Wednesday after its run. I wish they would do that for y'all.
Yeah, I think you know, there's got to be a way to broadcast one of our races, even if it's not live, and just package it in the right spot during the week, like you said. Maybe before a truck race, you know, even if it's a tape modified race before a live truck race. Just kind of pair us up with something that people can know it's on every week or every other week, and you just have to get people to know what the schedule is so that they can, you know, DVR it or whatever they're going to do, watch it live. You know, it just has to be some sort of consistency.
They need to do what I used to do at Langley Speedway. I used to broadcast the races live over the internet for several years until they decided they'd rather sell the DVDs instead.
Well, you can go to hometracks.nascar.com and you can follow all of our races with the live updates. It's not video, but it's a live feed that tells exactly what's going on. So, you know, even this Saturday at Monadnock, it'll be broadcast in that respect so that people can at least follow it if they can't be at the track.
Yeah, I mean, you could get somebody that's enterprising enough to sit there and work with the tracks and generate their own revenue from advertisements to put on with the show. And I mean, because what we did, we linked it directly into the to the announcer with his own screen, so he could see exactly what we were pointing at with the cameras. And we had 3 cameras around the track to catch everything. One that was following the action from the top, and one in turn 1 and one in turn 4, so you could catch most of the stuff going in and coming out.
Yeah, you're forgetting one important aspect, though, is that our touring series is NASCAR, and you've got a lot of licensing, you know, go with cast rights and all that stuff. So we do have some local guys up here. One gentleman, Sid DiMaggio at Waterford Speed Bowl. If you ever get a chance, go YouTube Sid's View in Waterford, and you'll find a bunch of his videos. This is just a fan who has been doing this now for 5 years, I think, and puts on a tremendous, I mean, probably more professional than half of the racing organizations in the world. Does a great job with their weekly show there. And there's a lot of people doing that stuff, but a lot of guys, it takes a lot of time. I mean, I know personally, just knowing Sid, how much time he puts into it, that to do all that stuff, it's like a second full-time job, you know?
Yeah, it is. The nice thing was at Langley, we could leave all our cabling in place, and each Saturday night we'd just come out, hook up the cameras, and just go have fun with it. And I have races that are going all the way back to 2005, and I also have my own YouTube channel, and we're a partner with them, so we can put stuff on as long as we want. I've got shows from here 3 hours long, so we got a lot of stuff out there too, and I still haven't finished uploading all those either.
There's plenty of opportunity out there, and there's a lot of people who, you know, enjoy doing that stuff, and it's getting to be that time where, you know, you just people gotta take advantage of that, and I think YouTube is certainly a place where if you can't have live video, at least you can have a lot of documented, you know, videos of your series and your team on YouTube, which is pretty neat to see some people take advantage of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have my own media streamer. That's what made it sort of nice. So it gives me a little bit of advantage over what most other people can do, and unless they're big buck people, you know, like NBC and ESPN and Speed, you know, all those guys.
Yeah, and that's not you, right?
No, that's not us.
No, I do it on a shoestring, and what I always like, I can be wearing one of our hats or something like this, and we'll be at one of the NASCAR tracks, and one of the NASCAR officials will come up to me and say, "Hey, aren't you one of the guys from, you know?" And I'm sitting here feeling like a NASCAR Cup driver now, you know. It's fun.
Nice.
Well, Doug, we appreciate your time tonight, and I know you want to get back to what you were doing. You said you were going to be working at the shop tonight, so we appreciate your time, and hope we can get you back on here soon and talk some more modified racing.
Yeah, guys, thank you very much for calling, and everybody check us out at Bristol. I think it's, like I said, August 21st, I think is the date, and it's a live broadcast on Speed, so you'll get to see the modifieds again.
Somebody wants to follow you, how are they going to follow you?
You can follow me on Twitter. That's probably a good place, at Doug_Coby. You can find me on Facebook. I take anybody's friend request if you want to see what's going on. I try to keep things light and fun with racing. You know, it's stressful. It's crazy sometimes, but it's all supposed to be fun, and that's why we do this. So hopefully people get my sense of humor and realize that I'm just having fun with it.
Good deal. Yeah, I was already following you on Twitter, but I did send you a friend request on Facebook.
Nice.
All right, man, we appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you again.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, yeah, I thought they would have the last 15 running. They apparently are having just 10 cars racing. It said the last chance race will be 10 trucks racing 15 laps for the final 5 berths. You got Hefner, Babcock, Bowles, Brennan Newberry, Justin Jennings, Jason Weller III, Norm Benning, Clay Greenfield, Joe Cobb, and Brian Silas.
That ought to be a good one.
Yep, and that starts at 8:45.
Getting close.
I'll be able to catch it.
Yep. I'll listen to it on the radio on the way home.
Listen on the radio. All right. Well, I'd like to see everybody back again next week. Al Pierce, I believe, will be back with us.
He said he would.
Well, you know how he is. But anyway, everybody have a good week. Enjoy the racing tonight at Eldora, because we will be checking it out as well. And hopefully get a couple of drivers next week, get a feedback on how they felt about the track. Several of the people we know out there are pretty good, so it should be fun.
All right. Enjoyed it.
All right, well, I need to get back to the other thing here. And let's see. There it is.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Here's your 2011 champion, David Brehm.
Hi, this is David Polens, driver of the 33 NASCAR Late Model, 2011 Old Dominion Speedway track champion. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, drive the 42 car. I want to thank Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler Built Seats, Bell Helmets, Hooker Harness Seatbelts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk Racing TV